Okay, hello, my name is Rama, and in this occasion, I would like to present my work about customer satisfaction index. Customer satisfaction index needs to be performed by companies to make metrics, to make KPI for how our service is valued by customer. So in this time, uh, I collaborate with my other colleagues in company to get this data. This data is filled by customer by filling in the website survey. Then I downloaded the Excel file from website to make analysis, to make uh, calculation about uh, the customer satisfaction. So in here you see about this data. This data contains submission time, name, hospital's name, unit ID, service date, engineer, com completing on time as agreed. So uh, there is a few questions that we can quantification about the question, like completing on time as agreed, timeliness, and communication. In here there is four options that the customer can fill in the answer, like very dissatisfied, dissatisfied, satisfied, and very satisfied. And then I make a score for each category. Like if satisfied, I will make score in 3. Very satisfied will get the score 4, and then dissatisfied I will make score it to 2, and very dissatisfied is equals to 1 score. So there is a lot of question in here, you can see, but we will take some question that we can quantification about this data, like uh, like wait a minute, like first question like this, completing on time is great. We can quantification this, and then the second one is timeliness and communication by field technician and applicants, and then competence and service professionalism, and then how the employee presentation to customer about material and functions, and then the quality device connectivity, and then the expectation were met, and then the last is overall satisfaction with the service provided. We will process this 7 question to make further analysis, then we get the index of customer satisfaction. So the process of the process of the calculation is I will make this file into CSV file, CSV file, and then I will make a semi-automation data cleansing for this calculation. So after I save the file into CSV file, and then I uploaded the file into my program, customer satisfaction. Now this file is a CSV file. I will upload this file into my own program. I make this program to automate the data cleansing customer, so we get a feature that we can directly calculate. Okay, I will demo this program. First of all, there is a few libraries that we have to import. There is pandas, OS, and fn match, find match. And then this line is will return CSV file. This uh, this program will looking for the file that has content that has extension CSV in the directory. I will run this line and it will get this file automatically. And then we can see the data frame in here. There is submission time, name, and so on. And then I want to see how much column and what is the name of column. There is 20 column in here, from number until do you have criticism. Okay, the next is I will return column with very dissatisfied, dissatisfied, and satisfied. Like I told you before that I want to make calculation based on the question that we can quantify the content, the value. Like satisfied, we can make score 3. Very satisfied, we can make score 4. So we only select column that only have content very dissatisfied, dissatisfied, satisfied, and very satisfied. In here, I make a variable with name is matching columns, and then I change the category very dissatisfied into 1, dissatisfied into 2, satisfied into 3, and very satisfied into 4. And then I will I will rename the columns. No, I will replace the category to numeric number, to number, and then to easy to understand, I make the column that in the matching this matching columns into U1, U3, U4, and so on. I make acronym with this. U means unsur. Okay, and then I will rename that column into that unsur. So we can see I make this data frame. There is 7 questions that we can make calculation. We can make quantification about the category. And the next is I want to merge the data frame between sk unsur, this variable sk unsur, with the first data frame, but only column until the engineer, because the other column is doesn't have influence to calculation. So I selecting the first data frame by slicing the columns from 0 to 8, because the index is start from 0, and then the engineer is in the 7th column. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I merge the two data frame based on the index. Like this. Okay. And then I will export the data file, the data frame into Excel. Refresh this. So okay, there is clean data from this program. So I download this file. I will overwrite this file. Then I will see how the data will show. So this data have been cleansing in program before. You can see the submission time, name, hospital names, unit ID, types of service, service date, engineer, and the question that I have been changed the category into the number. Okay. The next is make the calculation and making the visualization and dashboard. I've been already make the calculation in the Excel file. So I will only copying the raw data that have been cleansing by the program into this table, and then it will automatically calculate the customer index satisfaction. So I will show you this this calculation. First of all, I will copy the clean data into the Excel file. So you can see the data have been passed in the Excel file, and then I will make this number of rows is equals to 1. I will explain this in the I will explain this later. Okay. Okay. In here, the first calculation is I want to return the name of the engineer that installed the unit using unique function, and there is this sign. This sign is equals to if there is no data, it will return nothing in the cells, just like that. And the other is I'm returning the type of service with unique function also in here. I'm using unique function. So this calculation is began. The calculation is start from totaling the each question like U1 until U7. I will make the total value. I'm using the sum function in the table 1 and so on, table U1, U2, U3, U4 until U7, and the average is calculated by the total value each question divided by the how much records is filled in Excel. This value I'm I get from count function in table 1 with U1. This function calculate how many rows that filled by number, so it will return how many the records that contained in the data frame in the table, and the answer is how many the question that list in the table, and the weight is get by divided 1 by how many the question. Okay, I got the average. uh, we we know that our question is scoring by 1 2 3 4, and then I want to make the conversion about that things into scale 1 until 100 to easy to understand to the other people. How can I reach that? By multiplying this data times 25, so it will return the conversion. This weighted conversion is calculated by the average times the weight of this data. So it will multiplying the 3.425 multiplied by 0.143. Okay, it will get the data, and then each calculation for question this, and it will get this number, and then I will sum all of the weighted conversion into the scale 1 until 4, and it will return 3.434. And I will make conversion also in this index, so it will multiplying this index 3.434 multiplying by 25, so it will get 85.845. So this index conversion is including all of the calculate all of this data that filled in the table. So I want to make more calculation about satisfying index define for each type of service. As we know, in this type of the service there is troubleshooting, installation, periodic maintenance, and training. So I want to make how about the satisfying index for each types of service. So the calculation is still the same, but but I have to calculate for each category type of service. Like I'm using SUMIF in here to know about the total each question when when the service is troubleshooting. I'm using SUMIF. This is the first argument is the range that I will have the criteria, and then there is the second argument is the criteria and then the sum range that I want to take the total number. So it will same with each question, U2, U3, and so on. And the calculation is the same, and so on. And in here I'm using COUNTIF with the criteria still the same. And for the other types of service, I will make the calculation also. As you can see, uh, the lowest satisfying index in here is come from training. But we have to know that there is a big difference about how many records that filled in the data. We can see the troubleshooting is until 381, but the training is only 4 records. In here I make the simple visualization about this data. There is U1 until U7, and also we can make the KPI about each question about how customer, which one the customer dissatisfied about. When we make the U1, the U1 means the completing on time as agreed. So if this U1 is very low, we can make a assumption that the engineer or technician is not working in on time. So we can make the solution about how, solution in the future, how we make our employee or our engineer is working on time. So there is index per types of service. The training is still low. The lowest is in training, but as you can see, the sample, the number of records is only 4. So, and the next is the donut, the pie chart. You can see in all of the records, 70% is comes from the troubleshooting service. And the next is the calculation about the types of service, but we've done it before in here, so we don't have to make this calculation again. So in here I will make the calculation for each engineer that have troubleshooting in on maintenance or installation in the site. I will make the pivot table with rows engineer, and then the value is U1, U2, and so on. Okay, I will explain what is the number of rows is doing in this calculation. So the number of rows is have function to calculate how many the engineer is recorded in the data. We can see in ADA, the engineer ADA is make the uh, service 4 times in 2022, and so on with the other engineers like that. Hmm. In here I can also make slicer about uh, about I can Okay, in here I can make the calculation for each engineer in here. Like for Ellen, the customer index satisfaction is 90. And then I will make drill down which uh, type of service that Ellen do, like installation, periodic maintenance, troubleshooting, or the others. So after that, I make the dashboard about this data. So I'm sorry because actually this data is get from this sheet. So first of all, I have to make the pivot tables. Of course. Okay, customer index per unsur. So it will get this data 85,84. It's good for our scoring because this data in here is get the score B is equals to good, but we can maximize again our service to the better service. As I told before, this chart is represent the uh, how much the percentage about the data is contained by the types of service, and the in the data 70% of our data is troubleshooting, and then the troubleshooting is get the highest index by 85.80. Okay, the next is the dashboard is I will make the slicing is same in here, but I want to make the beautiful chart in here so we can see by the visual in the engineer coffee. For example, the Grand Forks, Hidalgo with troubleshooting, just like that. Okay, I think that's all for my project presentation. If there is question, you can comment in the below, or you can contact me in my LinkedIn or others. Thanks for watching.